There are many common reasons to want to do a bank account search, and we're going to talk about how a bank account search is performed, what it could be used for, and once you receive the report, how do you go about verifying deposits and making sure that it can be used for your particular purpose. The most common reasons for a bank account search has to do with a judgment against a party in a lawsuit to make sure you can collect upon that. Sometimes a plaintiff in a lawsuit will do a pre-litigation bank account search so you can determine what assets are owned by the defendant prior to you starting a lawsuit. So that way, if you get to the end of a court case and you run a bank account search then and find that all the money's gone, you wouldn't know how to compare that with something at the beginning of the lawsuit to know that money was removed. For example, at the end of a lawsuit, if you run a bank account search and there is no money or very little money, but the person had hundreds of thousands of dollars 8 months prior, you wouldn't know that from a bank account search only run at the end of the process. The other reason for a bank account search has to do with divorce cases or probate cases to make sure that the other parties are providing proper financial disclosures and written revelations of what they have for assets. So when you run a bank account search, you're going to get a list of banks that are holding deposits for your debtor by name and tax ID number. So you may get a list like TD Bank, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and it'll show the amount on deposit. It'll show a full or partial account number, the name of the financial institution, and sometimes a recent activity. And the reason that's important is because if you know of certain financial activity like deposits or payroll, that can help you track down a flow of funds to find out if money is entering or leaving that account. The next thing you want to do once you get it is to get a full transmittal of the account like this. This is a bank statement. This is an example. These aren't real examples or real statements from banks. These are fictitious made up examples, so you'll know what they look like. But what you want to do when you get one of these is first thing is to do the math to make sure that the numbers add up and that the math is correctly represented, because sometimes if a third party provides you with a bank account statement or a bank report, if the numbers don't add up, you know that something is fake, something is made up. Then next thing you want to do is look at the dates to find out if the dates make sense. So if there was let's say a deposit made at a branch on 7/2, but if you look up on 7/2 and that was a Sunday and that branch was closed, you know that that date was made up. You also want to make sure that there's no misspellings. For example, on this one, intentionally, the word summary is spelled incorrectly. That way, you'll be tipped off that this is a fake bank statement. So, verifying these small details is important. Another thing we've seen is QuickBook deposits. That's probably payroll. Anytime you see something where there's an electronic deposit from QuickBooks, that's probably payroll. You can find out where the employment is and where they're getting their income from. Another thing that you want to look at is if there's withdrawals. These are deposits, credits. Let's find one that has a withdrawal. These are all deposits too. You may find a withdrawal from a merchant. And if that's the case, you want to verify with that merchant what was purchased. Sometimes those purchases can help you track down other assets. If somebody bought a set of wheels for a car, then you know that there might be a high-end car somewhere. You also want to look at things like merchant service deposit. This means that the account holder has some business that's depositing credit card payments into their account. So a merchant services deposit indicates there's a business, and this business, on this day took in $3,000, on this day took in $2,000. So you want to track that down and find out what business are they operating that's taking in this money. There's also deposits that are checks, Larson Contractor, Vision Media. This may also indicate a business being operated. Just from these two, you're talking about $60,000, $70,000 worth of deposits during this period, making sure that you understand where this person is getting their income. So a bank account search is one type of an asset search. You'll find it on our website at activeintel.com, and it can help you determine if your debtor is hiding money, withholding funds, or not telling you the true story about what assets they own or they hold, and also by comparing different time periods, you can determine what assets have been concealed or transferred away from the debtor that might be impacting your ability to collect and recover your losses from the lawsuit.